Bruce Lee is the fastest fighter in the world. The best fighter in the world. One of them. Long time ago, I'm a hitman brought Bruce Lee in mainstream media. Breaking levels of Bruce Lee, unfound skills. I was a young boy. I was up there training, trying to get up to that level of the Bruce Lee speed level. Very fast, very dynamic, very awesome. Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee came from Asia, fought, did movies. Did a score and everything inside the movie platform. Um, Training itself to be the best. Came with all the time moving, hopping, side to side movement, kicks, right hands, 6-inch punch. Bruce Lee fought in martial arts when he was with I'm a Hitman. I'm a Hitman pushed Bruce Lee kung fu skills to the breaking point to be a master in the art of fighting. His speed, his dynamic movement came from pushing what I'm a Hitman studies and training. And when using his torso so many years with his high chi skills, teach the Americans for years. He was one of the guys they discriminate against. They wanted him to treat. They didn't want Bruce Lee to do martial arts. They came up in Bruce Lee way, messed with Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee paid the price, kicked him in the back, messed the man back up. And we all know he married a white lady. Different links of that. They didn't like it. The link of Bruce Lee marrying a white lady, her mother didn't like it. It said she's her words for sight for herself. Bruce Lee, excuse me, or her daughter. I don't want no half Asian babies around here, or half white and half Asian. That's what she said to Bruce Lee's wife. But what love involved, she still was not with Bruce Lee. Had children, had a horrendous, great family. You know, Bruce Lee have never seen colors. He never discriminated. He trained it, pushing people to that breaking point, taking them farther to different limits. And I'm one of the guys, the false witness that the moves he did that I witnessed many moves of Bruce Lee, trained, studied. I am the realest fighter of all time. Nothing to talk about. No doubt about that. Bruce Lee is one of the greatest speed mark fighters of all times, I say. Hands that catch you less than second. You blank, he'll knock you out. Kicks just as fast. I mean, everything is on his level when he's doing martial arts. Over and over again, Bruce Lee will thrash you, hit you, move, skip with you. But one thing we know Bruce Lee never was. Bruce Lee never was an artist stopped training. He stayed training through so many dimensions. He came beyond from the forefront of so many dimensions, Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee art kept growing. More he fought, more dynamic, more angles, more speed points, more pressure points. He learned it. Came for the hot movies. Movies that brought Bruce Lee as a superstar. One thing we know about Bruce Lee is not a joke when it comes to the art of fighting. He killed with bare hands. I know people say, hey, what's Bruce Lee record? You can't find a record when he's in Asia fighting, going to tournaments, training Wesley Snipes, Chuck Norris, all these guys. West not West Night, but forgot what his name is. I forgot what the name is, but he trained him to with the blow. Steven Seagal, that was one of them. So many forms of people learn from the art of the master of Bruce Lee. But one thing we know about Bruce Lee, he never ever tried to go beyond a stopping point from his levels, from he teaching the dynamics to many forms of people. But he went farther, maybe a little bit farther. I'm a hitman, maybe. Sometimes you can't beat the master. The master is got so many techniques, but sometimes you can beat the master. It's not impossible. But with Bruce Lee standpoint and so much speed, he just was breaking levels that we never seen before. Rest in peace, Bruce Lee. We will give you more intel on Bruce Lee. Stay tuned. Peace.